Hi, I'm John Bogdasarian with the Promanas Group. The chances are if you're watching this today, you are already invested with us in either PF1 or PF2. We really appreciate your investment. Thank you very much. Today, I just want to share with you a few tips and tricks that I found in an article written by Morgan Housel recently that I think will help you investing in whatever it is you choose to invest in. Spending money to show people how much money you have is a surefire way to have a lot less money. That's the first point, and I'm going to read to you what he writes here. The first iron rule of money is that wealth is the stuff that you don't see. It's not the cars that you've purchased, the clothes that not bought, the jewelry forgone. Money buys things. But wealth, and by wealth I mean assets such as cash, stocks, bonds, money in the bank, unspent, cash flow producing assets like real estate that can pay you over and over and over again. That buys freedom and security. Pick which one you want and choose wisely. The second point that I wrote down and took from this is the goal of investing isn't to minimize boredom, it's to maximize returns. I have a lot of friends who've invested in a lot of types of things. I've heard stories. I have the benefit of having over 140 accredited investors that participate in deals with me. You're probably one of them. And I see a lot of deals that they are pitched because they'll send them to me to review and they'll ask me, do I think it's a good deal or not? And then sometimes they go ahead and do it anyway. Now sometimes they've already done it and they bring me the deal and say, I put 100 grand into this. Now what do I do? And it's too late. I can't do anything for them. But I've seen people invest in restaurants. I've seen people invest in oil and gas. I've seen people invest in all kinds of super exciting, could be worth millions of dollars type tech companies. And the reality is I haven't seen any of them pay out. I mean, by nature, people don't come to me and say, hey, look at how much money I'm making on this investment. They bring me the troubled ones, so that's likely what I'm going to see. But the point is that don't invest with emotion into something that you think is exciting and great. Go eat at that restaurant if you think it's great. Go do whatever else it is that, buy the technology, get the new iPhone with the app, or download Uber and use it. Don't try and, invest into it. It just doesn't make any sense. What we try and focus on here is creating very predictable, stable cash flow returns from real estate assets that don't move, don't talk, they don't perform a circus act. They're boring. If you drove by most of the properties that you're invested in, you'd probably question why you were invested in it. You'd look at it and you'd say, this is just a big cinder block building. Well, the reality is there's somebody in there making some part for something, an aerospace engine, an airplane, an automobile, who knows what, but they're manufacturing something in there and they need that space in order to do it. So they'll pay us rent, we can pay the expenses, and then we can distribute the cash flow. And at the end of the day, if they need to move, if their business closed down, we can put someone else in that space and keep making money again and again and again. And frankly, this is a very boring process. So I can't excite you about investing with us unless you're excited about returns. The third point that I wrote down is the most valuable asset you can have is a strong propensity to not care what others think. Now I think personally that our most precious asset is time. I understand that. But in the attitude when it comes to investing, if you are concerned about what others think about what you're investing in and you're letting other people dictate where you might put your money or not put your money, I think that's a very flawed concept. There's no chance you're going to do well with that approach. Like I said, it's not meant to be a sexy endeavor. It's meant to generate returns. The fourth point that I wrote down, and I love this one, it's spend more time studying failures than successes. And I'm just going to read you the paragraph because it's great. You can learn more about money from the person who went bankrupt with a subprime mortgage than you can from Warren Buffett. That's because it's easier and more common to be stupid than it is to be brilliant. So you should spend more effort trying to avoid bad decisions, being stupid, than making good ones. Economist Eric Falkenstein summed this up well. In expert tennis, 80% of the points are won. But in amateur tennis, 80% of the points are actually lost. The same is true for wrestling, chess, and investing. Beginners should focus on avoiding mistakes, experts on making great moves. And if you think you're an expert when it comes to investing, you are wrong. There are very, very few experts when it comes to investing. I don't consider myself an expert when it comes to investing. We focus all our time on trying to avoid making mistakes. We have a saying that we make more money on the deals we don't do than we make on the deals we actually close on. And what I mean by that is we try and avoid the errors that we could lose money on, and we just focus on trying to get only the ones that have very limited downside risk. That's a strategy. It's not a guarantee. But if you take that outlook, you take that approach, you're going to do a lot better than if you're trying to hit home runs. Here's a 5th point, and then I have one final 6th point, and we're done. And again, I appreciate you hanging in to listen to this. People are flawed, so a lot of stuff makes no sense. People are flawed, so a lot of stuff makes no sense. As James Grant put it, to suppose that the value of a stock is determined purely by a corporation's earnings is to forget that people have burned witches, gone to war on a whim, risen to the defense of Joseph Stalin, and believed Orson Welles when he told them over the radio that the Martians had landed. People are flawed, so a lot of stuff makes no sense. If you're looking at investment products, investment deals, various things that you want to participate in, 9 out of 10 of them make no sense. If you're questioning anything at all, if it can't be explained to you in a very simple format, we collect rent, we pay bills, we distribute cash. If you can't understand how it works, don't invest in it. The last thing I want to share with you, and this is a more serious one, and lately I've noticed this happening a lot more amongst family, friends. Anything can happen at any time for any reason. And this goes back to my point that time is our most precious asset. You might be laid off next week. You can be sued tomorrow. You could win the lottery. Maybe you'll get cancer or a huge promotion. Stocks can rally for twice as long as you think and crash twice as fast as you assumed. History is one thing after another. Most of it involves money, and there's nothing you can do about it. I share this last part with you because, again, I always come back to time is our most precious asset. Our philosophy here is to do the work once and get paid forever. That's why we like cash flow. We focus on things that generate income immediately to try and do all the due diligence we can to protect from the downside. Again, thanks for tuning into this video. I appreciate it. If you feel like it, share it with anybody you want to. And if we can ever be of any help to you with anything at all, please let us know. Have a great day.